I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
What's up, guys? Oops, the podcast, our extra bonus edition that we've been doing since this quarantine shit. I'm Giulio, joined as always by Francis.
Hey, friends. Hi.
How you doing, dude? And we have a special guest today. We have Mike Cannon with the fresh pink hair, my man.
Oh, yeah, dude. I keep forgetting that I have this until people are like, oh, so that was real.
Yeah, Mike, tell us about this. What were you thinking?
I was thinking that it was day 2 of quarantine, and apparently I don't deal well with tough times.
Your hair is the same color as the room you're in, and it makes me think that you're an old woman living in a poor neighborhood.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've wanted to do this, I guess, and this is a perfect excuse too, because I can't be booked on TV at the moment, so fuck it.
Dude, totally. It's a great idea, actually.
You went blonde first.
Yeah.
Was that just the halfway house to the pink?
Yes. Yeah, you got to do
process?
that. Yeah, I've tried to dye my hair before because I figured gray is almost blonde, so I didn't think I had to bleach anything. But it turns out that doesn't do anything except kind of turn my hair normal.
Buddy boy. Okay,
Crazy.
so are you enjoying the color? Why? It's so dramatic.
I do enjoy it. I'm gonna go purple, I think, in like a week or two. I'm going full Dennis Rodman, dude, during quarantine. I'm gonna
Like
be
a
weird
nerd's
guy.
rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also really helped me with my social media characters. It's freed me up to feel more myself.
Good. I saw that short film you did. That was funny, dude. That was great.
Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah, that was the homeless pimp, same guy that shot my special.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Mike, right?
Yeah, 1 second. Hold on. Sorry.
Well, in the meantime, Francis, it's your birthday.
It's my birthday, and guess what? That means it's Mike Cannon's birthday tomorrow.
This is very exciting.
He and I are birthday buddies. We had all these grand plans to be throwing back shots and smoking blunts together down in Skankfest, Houston. And there was a little bit of tension between us over whose birthday would get more shine. We didn't let on, but that was definitely something that was going to cause problems. Mike being more popular than me among that group of comedians, certainly I had some reservations about how that was going to play out. And then luckily we didn't even have to face that. So our friendship is preserved.
Yeah. Happy birthday, buddy. I know I haven't even officially just said it. Sorry. I've been texting with my friend who's still throwing like 40-person parties in his building complex. And he has no reservations about this disease, thinks it's a complete joke. My sister has to give birth alone, and he's starting a huge argument about it. So that's why I'm...
What's his name? Osama bin Laden? Holy shit.
Yeah, it's COVID bin Laden.
Dude, I
Sheikh
thought of a
Mohammed
good...
Abu Bakr?
Yeah, literally. I thought of a good quarantine drinking game, dude.
Talk to me.
And it's good for small groups too. You make teams. You make the social distancing team, and you make the what the fuck's the other? Oh, and the curve team. And anytime either of those phrases is used on TV, you have to drink.
Okay.
It has legs, no?
Well, it's pretty binary. You could
It's very
come up
simple, and you'll
you
get
could
fucked
come
up
up with
because they
more
say it every
terms.
10 seconds. What?
You could come up with more terms to make it a little bit more complicated so that people have more fun watching the news.
All right. Well, what other term? I'm trying to think of what other terms I've heard a bajillion times. There's obviously more. Testing is another one.
Yeah.
Respirator.
Respirator. See?
Corporate
See?
bailout.
Yeah,
there-
bailout. Yo, how sad is this? Not to flex,
Trillion?
but I make just over the amount of money that to make me eligible for a government check.
Oh, buddy, you got to write off more things. What are you thinking?
Can I widow it down? Like, can I get myself down into the green light territory? I don't know how that works.
I bet you probably could. Can I really make a quick comment though? Is I just kind of realized this. We all have artwork behind us. And it all is pretty perfect for each of our personalities. Francis, you have a fucking beach bird behind your head. I've never seen anything fit a human more in my entire life. Emilio, you have a sweet pilgrim woman with a peach in her hand. You are a peach.
Bro, you also just called me Emilio, by the way.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, I knew it was that sucks.
For people who don't know this, I've known Mike for over a decade. Mike and I have been friends for over a decade.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Martino, you have a crazy...
a maiden.
And I just have like a heavy set nude woman with a boob.
Yours is cool, Mike.
Thank you. It's not mine.
I can't get over the idea though that you just strike me as someone that probably has like a lot of plastic bottles in your closet.
No, that was me living alone, dude. Now that I have a wife, I am full-blown human being. But when I lived in Elmhurst, Queens in 2008, fully single, and like I didn't have drawers or dressers or anything like that. I just stacked folded clothing, and then right next to it was a pile of dirty clothing.
Oh boy, that's gross.
Yeah, there was no furniture. It was all stacks.
Stacks on stacks on stacks of Old Navy bullshit. Dude, so
Young man's furniture.
Yeah.
Mike, you have a son and a wife.
Yeah.
And fortunately, you guys were well into that, triangle offense before this began.
Yeah, we had a 7 month head start.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what it's like to be, quarantined with a new baby, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. Well, we left the city. We escaped, which was pretty big because we were in Brooklyn for a little while in our 2-bedroom apartment. Very little, options in terms of diversifying your day. Not to mention the blood gang that lives on my front stoop didn't necessarily take the coronavirus very seriously, so they were still congregating in close quarters and passing blunts to one another by the time we left.
Yeah, well, they're always wearing bandanas anyway, so they kind of had the mask already fixed.
Yeah, they're just lifting the bandana, smoking, putting it down, passing it.
Oh, like Saudi wives. That's great. That's great. So okay, where are you now?
Now I'm in Rockland County in my wife's mother and stepfather's house.
And dude, does part of you feel like, I think we might have lost Francis for a second. Does part of you feel like you're getting to spend more valuable time with your rapidly changing toddler child that you wouldn't have gotten to otherwise?
In terms of like now that my road is canceled, yes. But
evenings, I guess he's asleep by 7, right?
Yeah, he's asleep by 7:30. So I'm pretty available anyway. I'm daytime dad for the most part. So, it's
no.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same.
How, do you feel all right? Because I feel like comedians tend to have severe reactions to things in general. And my friends, that I've spoken to so far, some of them are extra panicked, more so than one might argue they should be, and others aren't. How do you feel about all this?
I mean, I'm definitely, I was panicked, and now I'm so panicked I feel calm. Where it's just hands up in the air. There's nothing you can do about it. What the fuck, and I'm lucky enough to have some money coming in from Sound Exchange and the podcast. So I'm not just bleeding money. I'm at least, I'm sticking a plug on a little bit of it, but it's definitely panic inducing because even with stand up, which I'm sure you guys are the same, it's more than just a job. We started this making no money. We actually started this paying money to perform. So this is a big part of our lives and identity and who we it's who I am. It's how I feel whole. So not doing stand up on a nightly basis makes me feel a little like a spiritual amputee.
Right.
Oh, that's really well
Lifestyle
said.
change.
And you've
Yeah.
always been very good at speaking. I completely agree. I feel as though you say not whole, and for me, it's I feel unbalanced, and as though like a very important part of my day is not being touched upon in the same way that I would feel if I didn't go to the gym now or whatever else. I'm really lashing out at my girlfriend and at the little dog that she brought with her. I've started abusing the dog, kind
Oh
of
yeah,
just
dude.
like fat shaming it and complaining about its breathing a lot.
What kind of dog?
It's a French bulldog, which in and of itself is sort of an abomination of nature.
Well, yeah, it's not of nature. It's genetically manipulated.
Exactly. It's a human mutant kind of all those dogs are born via cesarean, and I don't think it's like a welcomed cesarean. I think they are unconsensual cesarean sections. So I don't like it. I don't like the dog. I'm at my parents' house now where we have two beautiful, agile, normal yellow labs, and they
Nice.
don't like the dog either.
Mhm.
And so I think at some point I'm gonna like do something about it and probably make it disappear.
Yeah, you should Jack Black and Anchorman kick that dog right off a bridge.
That'd be fun. Make a nice video about it, like an
Yep.
over under how far can I kick this dog type thing. Yeah.
Francis just hating a small dog it's such a funny thing to me. You just hate this poor thing that can barely walk. It's waddling around. You want to
It's
just
just
put
the
it in the
breathing.
oven.
It's got this horrible deviated septum all the time, and it if it gets excited, it's 10 times worse. It's just fucking hate it.
It sucks, dude.
So, all right, Mike. Nothing much has changed, therefore, for you with your family. Are you and your wife still getting along okay? I mean, you guys.
We have our moments of tension because both of our livelihood requires congregation, so it's a little stressful for both of us. She's a floral designer, so a lot of her weddings and big events have been either pushed till God knows what, July or June or even next year. So it's just like it's trying to figure out how to weather it and shift some things around and all that stuff. So with that comes some like real aggressive kind of like smiling fights because we both understand that the stress is not the other person's problem, but it's everybody's human. We're bound to break.
Yes.
Yeah. Francis, are you guys getting along better in Maine, or were you getting along better in Pennsylvania?
Better in Pennsylvania for sure. This has been a huge step down for us in terms of our environment, but also the tenor at which we interact. I have a hard time talking to her unless I'm high, and for me, it's just like there's not enough space, and I don't want to be asked to do anything. And I've become probably pretty sexist, I would say, in all of this, which I never was. I was raised in a predominantly feminist household, very strong-willed mother, a sister that I admired quite a lot, and taught to really respect women and treat them as equals. And I just don't really see it that way anymore.
Jesus, dude. It's dark.
I'm kidding. I know most of our listeners are women. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I had totally devolved into becoming some sexist pig through all of this? That would be a nightmare.
That would be
It's
quite
also but also a very natural reaction because in these situations we are the more physically dominant species, so the women really have to take a back seat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, are we not at Skankfest?
We're not. We were supposed to be. Dude, I will say this. I'm very lucky that it's my 31st birthday, which is such an insignificant number.
Yeah, Reggie Miller.
If this were my 30th birthday, I'd really have a meltdown. But as it is, I put some jam on my oatmeal today. That was like sort of an indulgence. That was
Oh.
my, sparklers coming out with bottle service at my nightclub moment today.
Wait, have you been
Um,
eating healthily this whole time?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I always eat healthy.
That bums me out, man.
Have you not been, Mike?
No, I mean, I'm like kind of righting the ship now, but so I'm still not drinking, which is probably the toughest part of this entire process.
How long?
So it's almost been 16 months.
Wow.
But
Fuck you too. Good Lord Almighty.
are you also not?
No, I had drinks this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I just took a 2-month break, and then I just wanted to have a healthier relationship with alcohol where I could just have 2 drinks and like be fine with that.
Yeah, I don't know if that exists with me. Like, I love alcohol. I love it. But it's just like, I also love it to the point where I'm that 1 is too much, 10 is not enough kind of guy.
Right.
Where and that does
Same.
not make me an
Kinda.
effective father, I would assume. I've never tried it, but I can't imagine.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, the stakes are a lot higher for Mike.
The
and I get
timeline
that.
lines up with the conception of the child.
Yeah.
It's literally the exact amount of time since it's 16 months. He's 7 months old, right?
He's 8 months, so it's pretty much. I had a 1 month or 2 month not head start. So I think by the time he was born, I wasn't drinking for like 7. No, I don't know, but whatever. It just it definitely like. I just stopped after a trip to New Orleans that we all took together because I was not going to not drink in New Orleans. My wife was, barely pregnant, so she didn't imbibe, but I got hammered for the 2 of us.
Is your wife drinking, Mike, or is she not?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, just a couple beers or whatever. Not like she's not doing rails and calling me a fag or anything.
Oh, goodness me.
Fuck you, Mike.
Oh, that would be so funny, right? If she's just like, come on, pussy. What's your problem? I'm like,
You gonna come over here and bang me?
here?
Whoa. Francis, do you smoke pot with your parents around? Like even on the periphery of because I know that you're in a house on their property, right?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Because that's a great question for Mike too.
Yeah.
Okay, so my situation is kind of funky. Here's what happened. When we moved from New Jersey, which is where I was born, we moved up to Maine when I was like 4 years old, and we rented a house in Cumberland. And get this,
Maryland?
Cumberland is the name of the town.
Oh.
Yeah, like almost like Cumberbund, but Cumberland.
Because I've been to a Cumberland, Maryland. That's where Allegheny Community College was.
Oh,
We played them in basketball. It's where Steve Francis went to college.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It's definitely one of those JUCO situations, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
I played them 2 years in a row. The first year they beat us by 52. The second year they beat us by 64. It was an ego shattering like I haven't experienced on any hallucinogen.
Dude, I have lost sporting events by margins like that, and at halftime, all you're thinking about doing is finding ways to injure people on the other team.
Yeah.
Like it's so demoralizing and so not fun that you want to hurt people.
Yeah. Well, I think the funniest is actually one of the funniest moments in my sports life happened during that game. So I was like big on never being dunked on. If somebody tried to dunk on me, I would foul them like 90s Charles Oakley shit, like really fucking put a beating on them. But this one play, it was a 2-on-1, 2-6-5 dudes coming down on me. And for whatever reason, I either guessed or read the situation very quickly because I jumped the pass and the guy tried to dunk it. And I caught him on the way up and pinned the ball against the backboard. And the ref blew the whistle. And by the time, like the whole crowd, we were playing there, the whole crowd was like clean block, their team's audience was like, nope, like totally not a foul. The ref took the whistle out of his mouth and goes, no foul. I didn't think he could do that.
It's a good moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So sorry. Go ahead, Cumberland. I'm sorry.
No, well, I love remembering how good you are at basketball because
Not anymore, buddy. It's over.
well, but
You still
you're
play?
one of those people who would go out and
Barely.
casually shoot around and make like 7 threes,
Right.
moving around and then finally miss one and then the next. You know what I mean? Like you're that guy who we'd all be like, oh, this is It's
Yeah, but
weird
then-
to watch someone this good, you know?
But then put me in a full speed game and I'm like borderline useless because my basketball brain has actually gotten better even with not playing it. But I watch so much hoops that like I take what I learned in college and all the ski and reads and stuff like that. And I've grown, but now my physical abilities are zero.
Yeah.
like I played in that New York Comedy Festival basketball thing. And I had a couple brief glimmers of like my old self where I was like, I showed up, hit some threes, really looked good. And then I had, moments where I couldn't play for the Special Olympics.
You're pretty fit. That's surprising to hear. Like you look like you're in good shape.
Yeah. I mean, I can run up and down. That's not a problem. But having
What's the issue?
having the physical, basketball is an everyday sport. You have to keep your handle sharp, your shooting, all that stuff. I still have the muscle memory from years of being beaten into me, but it's still it takes a lot of work to shake off the rust.
Right.
Dude, I remember we had this alumni game scrimmage the Harvard lacrosse team would do every year, where it would be the first week of February, right before the season started or whatever, and the coach would invite a bunch of the young alums, so people who had graduated in the last 2 or 3 years, to come up and scrimmage the current team. And keep in mind, the team would be absolutely at the tip-top shape. They've been prepping all off season. They're running and they're gunning and they're in shape. And we would all be kind of slapping on random arm pads and being like, does anyone have a mouth guard, and having a beer. And then we'd go out in these ragtag uniforms and we would get run over by the current team, because just the difference of 8 months of not having played versus where these kids were at was as if they were moving at a 4x speed compared to how we were moving. And a lot of the guys on our alumni team were playing in the MLL, and they were still pretty good, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's crazy that happens though, dude.
Yeah. You're right. That wasn't a story worth telling. So
no, dude, it's true though. The generation, that's why it's stupid to compare generations, because the next generation gets good because of how the current good generation is playing. They play to defeat that method.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's stupid to compare, honestly.
Right.
Every sport.
People always say who's better, Bill Walton or Bill Russell versus Kareem
Shaq or whatever.
LeBron,
It's stupid.
and it's well, who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So really quick, we moved from New Jersey to Maine when I was 4, and that first winter we arrived at this rental house we had in Cumberland, and for 3 straight weeks the average temperature was 20 below zero.
Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
It was the coldest winter in 100 years in Maine.
Did you dog sled?
No, we had dogs. But it started snowing at Halloween, and it didn't stop. We didn't see the ground until May 10th.
That sounds like Geneseo.
Yeah.
where I went to college. What a nightmare.
Well, where is that?
That's in western upstate New York. It just sucks. It's a frozen hellscape for 9 months a year.
What's it near?
Near Rochester.
Okay, Rochester's
But,
a fucking shithole.
Yeah, but not even close to the whipping winds of Maine. I can't even imagine that. 20 below for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah. And it's dark at 2 p.m.
Really?
Yeah.
How many suicides?
Not enough, probably.
Just not densely populated enough.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but so we moved there and we rented that house for a year, and then we hated it. So we built this, we bought this land in Freeport, Maine, which was being used as a trash dump by the guy who owned it, and it has all these ravines, and it's 12 acres, but my parents bought it for $10,000, and it's waterfront property.
Wow.
And
You mean ice front?
Yeah, right. We spent 5 years cleaning up the ravines. I remember I had chores. I would for every full Glad bag of trash that I filled in the ravines, which was disgusting. It was all disgusting stuff. My parents would give me 50 cents. So those were my weekends. And we built this little tiny cottage. It's really fucking small. It's 800 square feet or something. And we lived in this for 3 years while they built the house that we would live in for the rest of my life. And so now we have like this little cottage, which is where my girlfriend and I are staying. Like this is the bedroom I'm in right now is the master bedroom. I mean, you can see you can't move around at all.
It's really nice though.
It's nice.
Do you smoke pot in there? Like, what is the pot thing in relation to your parents being on the premises?
So they're like 700 yards away across the ravine. So they don't know that I'm in here, clam baking the screened-in porch.
Would that bother them or no?
Franz, you're the best. You're like a brand new pot guy. I mean, I am straight clam baking this shack.
Well, that's what we called it, Mike. That's what we called it, clam baking in Maine instead of hotboxing, because we wanted to add a little local flair.
Right, but
makes sense.
But it's an introductory term, is what he
Buddy,
means.
let me hit that lobster roll, dude.
That sounds like blowing your friend. Let me hit that lobster roll, dude.
Yeah.
You're a corn and I'm an andouille sausage, because this is a clam bake, my friend.
So yeah, we would. What was your question, G? Sorry.
So would they be upset if they knew that you were smoking pot regularly?
It would probably be more like if they walked in on me jerking off. They'd be like, "Oh, look, we know you do this, but can you not do it in front of us?"
Right.
That'd be their reaction.
Mike, what about you? You're a pretty avid pot smoker, right?
Yeah, I openly smoke pot. I mean, I'm not really smoking during the day just because I feel like I have a lot of work to do and I'm just hanging with my son. So I'm not really like just fucking baked out of my face, just being like, look at this miracle I co-created. That's enough of a high for me,
Yeah, good for you, Mike. I always wondered about this, and forgive me for using these terms, but do you ever look at your son as he becomes more cognizant and reactive to your facial expressions, and he's this self-aware being, growing, looking more like you? Do you ever look down at him and just think, wow, you started as a cream pie?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, I think maybe Ricky used to have that bit, but you're basically, you kiss your son and you're kissing old cum.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, that's good. That's better.
Yeah.
I knew he would do it better. He's a better comic.
No, it was just, it's just true. It's just a fact. I mean, it's a bit of eggs, bit of tadpole, and now it's a real solid human.
It's a woman waddling to the bathroom, clutching her vagina, going, "Oh no, it's dripping everywhere."
Oh my God. Or plow pose. Like, when they do that, the shoulder stand to make it go in. I've heard that's a wives' tale. It's not actually effective.
What is that?
Like when you do a shoulder stand to make the semen seep in more effectively.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything.
Well, they definitely do the thing where they like hold their legs up as if they're trying to light a fart on fire.
Yeah, you know what?
That's what I'm talking about.
My parents told me, so they had like my sister before me, obviously, and she's the eldest, and then they really wanted a boy. So it just dawned on me recently what they had been telling me. They're like, yeah, we were thinking about like, different positions and like different kind of things that we could do to like help ensure that it was a boy. And like in my head, I'm like, oh, different positions. Like maybe my mom held her knees to her chest after, but then I was like, oh no, they just meant doggy style. They meant my no rhythm father just buried my mother's face in a pillow and just hammered away at her backside until he lurched cum into her butt.
While she was prone, right, Francis? This is something I learned. Prone.
Yeah, prone bone. Yeah, Mike, do you
Prone
prone
bone.
bone? Are you a prone boner?
What's prone bone?
It's where the female recipient lies flat on the ground and you just use her body as a fleshlight, basically.
I'd be lying if I said I've never done that, but it's certainly not my favorite. I like a bit of pushback.
Okay, so you because like doggy style is elevated, it's classy.
Yeah.
And prone bone, it's as if you just stumbled upon her corpse.
Yeah.
Boy, that's too much. That might be too much.
Clip it, Chris.
Wet noodle, banging a wet noodle, dude.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
look at that. What is that? Is that a body? Huh, don't mind if I do.
I guess the one saving grace is that she's still warm.
That's the key, dude.
Yeah. If she's cold, like if she just got out of the pool or something and she's all wet and freezing, and you decide that she shouldn't move an inch, then you got some goddamn issues.
Oh God, dude.
Well, it leads us to necrophilia, of course. I wonder if there's going to be a surge in necrophilia from all of this, with all the bodies. So anyway, Mike, it's great to see you, dude. Giulio, do you have anything else you wanted to cover?
Yes. I was wondering if there's anything that you miss that you're surprised that you miss doing. Like, obviously we were going to miss doing stand-up and stuff, but like, is there anything that you're like, fuck, I took that for granted while I could do it?
Riding the subway. Like I genuinely, I haven't listened to a single podcast since this whole thing has happened, because all of my podcast listening is transportation, is en route to spots, to all that stuff. And like, now it's just not a part of my life. It sucks.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I really miss dapping people up. Especially black people. Like, it didn't happen that often for me, but when it did and I got it right, it was so validating. And that thrill and that confusion of like, what's going to happen here? Especially Derek Gaines. Like, Derek Gaines is a comedian. He would always throw something different at me. And so every day it was like kind of a Rubik's Cube of what do I do with my hands? And now I don't see him. I don't see any of these people. I miss hugging people.
What do you mean, these people?
Yeah, sure. All those people. So,
good answer. Can I change my answer? I miss eating out my grandma, maybe the most.
Jesus Christ.
Did you say eating out your grandma?
Yeah. That was a big family bonding time where I would just taste prohibition.
Oh my God. Just pleasuring Nana.
A dry state, so to speak.
just a real movable vag.
Oh my God, dude. That's great. This is grandma right here, dude.
Yeah, wow. I can't believe you have a painting of her after all these years.
That's crazy.
What do you miss, G?
She's a real generous gal, dude. That's why she's up here. Dude, I miss the spa, bro.
The spa.
I miss the spa. I miss going and getting a schwitz. Fucking not being worried about anything. Like, people were worried about germs with that kind of stuff before all this.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the spa is going to be
sitting nude on tiles or whatever. Like, it can be a weird situation. Yeah, but you sit on towel, right?
Well, it depends. I mean, dude, have you guys ever been to any of those Korean spas in LA?
No.
No.
Dude. You guys would love it, dude. You really need to try sometime. Next time you're in LA, hit Wee Spa, man.
Done.
It's the best.
Done.
Check that out.
The only
all right,
this is the only weird thing about it. All right, go ahead.
Well, I was being a little bit silly, but I really do miss just like interacting with other people, not over FaceTime, like having a real face-to-face conversation and talking to people. That's the thing I miss the most.
It's fair, dude.
Yeah.
It's a completely reasonable thing to do. I miss it too. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say this about the Korean spa, in case you guys go. There's one weird element of it, is that you are nude with children in the men's section. There's like people, but then there's like some very Korean people in that big group of people.
In a Korean spa?
They bring their little children with them.
Right. Mm.
So, that's fine. But if you're trying to like enter one of the jacuzzis, like sometimes your penis will be in a little boy's face.
Oh no.
There's something like weird about that. You're like, excuse me, buddy. And like,
you just walk through the mist and hit some poor kid right in the forehead.
It's very possible that can happen. So
wait, how much do those things cost?
$25, dude.
I usually pay so much more for that experience.
Oh my God. Well, dude, one time I was sitting in one of the baths by myself and this little boy just started pissing in it from outside of it. And I was like looking around and nobody was it was funny. I was like, what the
It's funny,
What the
you know. I
fuck,
got a
dude?
chuckle out of it, but unnerving
like-
as well.
Yeah, I was like, curb your dog, dude. Like, whose child is it just
Yeah,
pissing,
yeah.
just like
Curb your dog.
peeing into the pool?
Yeah.
Crazy, bro. But it's
Oh,
great.
man.
Good schwitz, man. Keeps a man honest.
I feel you.
Hey, Mike, be well, my friend. Thanks
Same
for
to you
saying hi to
guys.
us. We'll keep checking in on you. Gee,
Hell
good to
yeah.
see you. Everybody,
Happy
have a
birthday,
great
dude.
weekend. This is Oops, the podcast. Mike, do you have anything you want to tell us about?
Watch my special. I thank you guys for having me on when that first came out. If you haven't checked it out, it's on youtube.com/Mike Cannon Comedy, called Life Begins. I have a ton of stand-up clips all over YouTube. My podcast, Irish Goodbye Podcast. Listen to that. Help support. I have a limited run of T-shirts as well. That's out right now. If you want to support, it's in every link in my bio. It's a link tree thing. It's top option. Got some cool stuff. Got my album cover art and then another design as well. So please support.
Dope.
Hell yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Follow Oops, the podcast on Instagram. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Adios.
Appreciate
Adios.
you.